Howdy, and welcome again to another time-sticking YouTube video. Today we're going to be discussing the size of a wristwatch dial and how that matches up to people's wrists. So stick with us through this intro, and we're going to give you some tips about that today. Wristwatch wearing comes with its own nuances of style and comfort. And nowadays you can get a wristwatch dial the size of a dime or the size of a softball. So it can be a little difficult to nail down what size is the right fit for you. In fact, a common question that a lot of jewelry shops and watchmakers receive is this watch the right size on my wrist when shopping in stores or even online? Well, the simple answer to this question is that any style is great for you, as long as you feel it meets your needs for comfort, style, and utility. This is always a great rule of thumb for any wristwatch purchasing adventure. However, there is a general scale you can follow to fit a wristwatch dial to your wrist. Utilizing this scale accounts for the diameter of the case, as well as the overall circumference of any wrist. So keeping that in mind, we can explore what kind of options are out there. After all, wristwatches come in so much variety that it can be difficult to nail down the best size for daily wear. So ahead, we're just going to cover a little bit of basic info and go over a scale that will help you out. Before we get to scaling the wristwatch to your wrist, we just want to go over a few average sizes of wristwatches with you. With watches generally, measurements like the case diameter, case thickness, and the width of the lug, which holds the band in place, will show up in millimeters. For us US people, this can be a bit troublesome considering we utilize imperial units alongside millimeter measurements. But before digressing down the finer points of mathematical representations, watch measuring is still pretty simple for consumers. As it stands, watches marketed as women's watches are found as small as 16 millimeters, smaller in some rare cases. On average, though, women's watches range from 20 to 30 millimeters. Wristwatches labeled men's tend to range from 30 millimeters to 42 millimeters, depending on whether they're luxury or sports watches. Beyond the average men's size, due to recent style trends, there are also some that reach up to 45 millimeters or beyond. Kind of think about the size of a small dish or plate that would hold a coffee or teacup. Needless to say, though we'll say it anyway, there are plenty of options to choose from. It's important to be mindful of general case sizes while shopping for the right fit or sizing the right fit. Traditionally, men wore the smaller dials for comfort. It's only recently that larger and larger watches became in vogue, causing a larger sort of gendered rift in what's right or wrong to wear. That social influence aside, there is nothing too masculine or feminine in what matters most, having a style that fits at optimum comfort on the wrist. So using the term a proper fit may not always be applicable considering the relative tastes and cultural influences of style. However, if you are looking for something that's proportional, there is an easy scale to follow. In terms of keeping things looking put together, first you're going to want to measure your wrist. If it measures 6 to 7 inches in circumference, you'll want to look for a watch size 38 to 40 millimeters in case diameter. If your wrist measures 7 to 8 inches, it's worth it to look at 44 to 46 millimeter cases. Wristwatch case sizes tend to scale up and down by 2 millimeter increments. So if your wrist measures smaller or larger by an inch, or multiple inches, adjust accordingly. For example, if your wrist is smaller than the average size for, say, a men's watch, go down to 5 or 6 inches on the wrist and you're looking at about 36 to 38 millimeters. If you go to 4 to 5 inches, it's going to be about 34 to 36 millimeters. If you jump all the way up to 8 or 9 inches, you'd be looking at 48 to 50 millimeters, and so on. Essentially, any one less or more inch on wrist circumference will add or remove 2 millimeters, or one watch size on the scale. It's a 2-to-1 ratio in this sliding measurement rule. This scale is especially helpful if you're shopping online. Hopefully it will help dispel some ambiguity when nailing down the right timepiece. While using the scale and sizing a watch generally, it's also good to keep in mind other factors when purchasing a watch. Case thickness and the wristwatch strap play into a comfy and proportionate fit. The shaping of the lugs that hold in the wristwatch band or strap are good to account for when checking out a new watch style as well. It's not very likely that the lugs will interfere too much with comfort, but some specialty designs will have a different arch in their design. In terms of case thickness, It often scales with the diameter of the watch. If the watch has a whopping case diameter, it will likely be more thick. If the watch has a smaller case diameter, you'll likely end up with a thinner case. Different brands scale differently though, based on their design work and individual watch lines. Chances are, if you enjoyed the general size and shape of a certain brand, you can't go wrong with going for the tried and true. However, there are likely more options out there based on the measurements of your favorite wristwatch, if you're feeling like switching things up. If you have any material allergies to account for, it's good to check into the right material on a wristband or strap. Most watch bands and straps have standard lengths when bought from third-party vendors, based on average wrist sizes, which is 6 3/4 to 8 inches for women, and 7 3/4 to 9.5 inches for men. These bands can often be interchangeable on plenty of watch lugs. Make sure to measure your wrist and the width of the lug when getting your preferred material band on the watch. Since there aren't always retail locations nearby to shop these wristwatch essential materials, having a working knowledge of your needs will help with shopping or special ordering the band of your dreams. For the long haul, matching up a length-appropriate band with the coziest case diameter and thickness will keep everything par for the course. To bring it in on a more personal note, today I'm wearing a 38mm Pulsar watch. My wrist measures at 5.5 inches, so it feels very proportionate on my wrist. As well, I'm wearing a standard length leather strap. I tend to prefer this material over metal bands because it doesn't irritate my skin as much. However, whatever your personal tastes are and whatever your measurements are should help in scaling things appropriately to your wrist. Hello, and thanks for watching our YouTube video today. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like, and you can find similar videos right here. For more new and interesting content from Time Sticking on our channel, please subscribe at the link here. And for more information about wristwatch repair and watch maintenance generally, you can find us at timesticking.com. Thanks so much and have a great day.